Hello, my dear students. Let me welcome you all to today's session. In this module, I am going to discuss with you all a few practice problems from the topic titled Clocks. Before you are attempting the questions that I am going to share with you, please make sure that you have gone through the conceptual video in which I have discussed with you all the concept parts, and also I have shared with you the basic formulae that you must know for solving the questions. So, shall we get started with the practice problems now? Let me present in front of you the first question. In this question, we can see how many degrees does an hour hand it move in 10 minutes? So for answering this question, you must be having a clarity with reference to the rotation dynamics associated with the hour hand of the clock. Okay, so we all know that this hour hand, it covers half a degree in 1 minute. Okay, which means 1 minute if it's over, we can see that the hour hand, it would have covered half a degrees. Okay, if A implies B, we can see that here B automatically implies A. So that's the reasoning that I have used here. 1 minute over means the hour hand, it would have covered half a degrees. But here we are considering a span of 10 minutes, right? So we can see that in 10 minutes, proportionately, the hour hand would have covered zero point 0.5 into 10, that is equal to 5 degrees, which means for this question, the correct answer, it's 5 degrees. Option D, that's going to be my final answer in this case. All right, let's consider the next question. How many degrees will the minute hand it move in the same time in which the hour hand it moves 10 degrees? So for answering this question, you must be familiar with the rotation dynamics associated with both the hour hand as well as the minute hand of a clock. Okay, so let's consider the question here. The hour hand, we know it covers half a degrees in 1 minute. So putting it the other way around, we can see that in 1 minute, half a degrees gets covered. Now, in the question, it's given the hour hand, it is moving by 10 degrees. So half a degrees corresponds to 1 minute. So we can consider that for covering 1 degrees, the hour hand will be taking 2 minutes. So for covering 10 degrees, proportionately, the hour hand will be taking 20 minutes of time. Okay. Now, in this 20 minute span of time, the question is how many degrees will the minute hand move? So we know that minute hand in every minute, it will be covering 6 degrees. But we are dealing with 20 minutes span of time. So we can see that in 1 minute, the minute hand, it covers 6 degrees. Therefore, in 20 minutes, proportionately 6 into 20, the minute hand will be covering 120 degrees. So for this question, the correct answer, it will be option D, 120 degrees. Okay. So in a nutshell, we can say that our hand, in order to cover 10 degrees, it will be taking 20 minutes. In that 20 minutes, the minute hand, it will be covering 120 degrees. Option D is my final answer. All right. Now let's consider the third question. How many degrees will the minute hand move in the same time in which the second hand it moves 300 degrees? Please note, when the second hand it makes one full rotation, 360 degrees it has covered, it means that 1 minute has happened, right? So here we can see that the second hand it covers 360 degrees in 1 minute span of time. But here the second hand is not covering 360 degrees, it's moving only 300 degrees. Okay, so we can see that in order to cover 1 degrees, the second hand will be taking 1 by 360 minutes. So 300 degrees means what? It should be less than 1 minute, right? So 300 degrees means the time duration, it will be 300 upon 360 minutes. If you want, you can cancel the zeros here. You can see that here 6 5s are 30, 6 6 are 36. We can see the 300 degrees over. It means that 5 by 6 minute it has elapsed, right? Now the question is, minute hand in 1 minute it will be covering 6 degrees. But here we are not considering 1 minute. We are considering only 5 by 6 minutes, right? So in 5 by 6 minutes, we can see that the minute hand, it will be covering 5 by 6 into 6, that is corresponding to 5 degrees. Okay, so we can see that by the time the second hand, it has covered 300 degrees, which is less than 1 minute span of time. By that time, the minute hand, it would have covered 5 degrees. Okay, the correct answer, it is option B. Okay, now let's consider the next question. Here, a boy observes the reflection of a wall clock in a mirror. The time observed by the boy in the mirror, it's 4 hours and 20 minutes. That's what the boy sees in the reflection. The question is, what is the actual time shown on the clock? So we can see that here, the time under consideration, it is between 1 o'clock to 11 o'clock. So in that case, since the time that is given here, 4 hours, 20 minutes, what you see in the reflection, since it is between 1 o'clock to 11 o'clock, the formula that you have to note here is actual time plus the reflection, what you see, the total, it is equal to 1160. So we can see that here, the actual time plus the reflection, that is 4 hours, 20 minutes. This is equal to 1160. This is what we can see here. So from this, I can calculate the actual time. It will be equal to 1160 minus 420. I can see that here 60 minus 20, that corresponds to 40 minutes here. 11 minus 4, that corresponds to 7. So the actual time that is shown on the clock, it will be 7 hours 40 minutes. Going by the options, we can see option C, it reads 7 hours 40 minutes. So for this question, option C, 7 hours 40 minutes will be my final answer. Okay. Now let's consider the next question. If the time in a clock, it is 7 hours 15 minutes, then what time it show on the mirror? Here also, when we consider the time that is given here, 7 hours 15 minutes, it is between 1 to 11. So in that case, we know that the actual time plus the reflection, that will be equal to 1160. So the actual time, it is 7:15 plus the reflection, the total, it will be 1160, as you can see. So the reflection, the time that you see on the reflection, that is on the mirror, it can be calculated as 1160 minus 715. And I can see that 60 minus 15, that is equal to 45. 11 minus 7, I can say that is equal to 4. So in the reflection, you can see that the time that you see on that mirror, that is the reflection, that will be 4 hours 45 minutes. We can see that option D is going to be my final answer for this question. Okay, 4:45. Now, let's consider the next question. At what angle are the hands of a clock inclined at 4 hours 20 minutes? You are asked to find the angle between the hands of the clock, the time it is given. So recollect the formula that you have to use here is theta, it is equal to mod of 11 by 2 m minus 30h, where m it corresponds to the minutes and h it corresponds to the hour. So we can apply that formula here directly. Theta, that corresponds to 11 by 2 into, instead of m, you can substitute 20 over here, minus 30h. Instead of h, you can put 4 here. So we can see now this value will be 11 into 10, that is 110, minus 30 into 4, that is 120. We are taking the absolute value here. 110 minus 120, when you are considering the value, you can see that is equal to minus 10. But since I'm taking the modulus, the value will come here as 10. So theta, it is equal to 10 degrees. Option A, it reads 10 degrees. That is going to be my final answer. All right. Now let us consider the next question. The time on the watch, it is 4:30. It's given the minute hand. It points towards the south. The hour hand, it will point towards which direction at that 4:30 time? That is the question. So for answering this question, let us just consider how that 4:30, that time, it looks. Okay, so you can see this is how that 4:30 it looks, right? So when the time it is 4:30, the minute hand, it is pointing towards the south. I can consider this is the southern direction, which means automatically this has to be the northern direction, north. In the direction sense, we know that if someone is facing towards the north, to the right side of north, it will always be east. And we can see that if this is east, this must be west. Got it? So these are the directions. This is north, this is south, this is the east, and this is the west. All right. Now, we can see that the time it is 4:30, the minute hand. You can see that it is pointing towards the south. Thus, we can see that the hour hand, as such, you can say it is pointing towards the southeast direction. Option A, it reads southeast. So that is going to be my final answer for this question. Okay. Now, let us consider the next question. What is the angle between the two hands of a clock when the clock it shows 3 hours 25 minutes? Again, the formula that we have to use here, it will be theta, it is equal to 11 by 2 m minus 30h. So theta, it is equal to 11 by 2. Instead of m, we can put 25 in this case, minus 30 h. Instead of h, you can put 3 in this case. So we can see on calculation, this will be coming. You have to take the absolute value. Okay, so that will be nothing but 11 into 25 upon 2, it is 12.5, minus 30 into 3, that is coming as 90. So this will be equal to 137.5 minus 90. And on calculation, we can say this value will be coming as 47.5 degrees. Got it? So options, going by the options, option D, it reads 47.5. So for this question, option D is going to be my final answer. All right. Let's now consider the next question. What is the angle in degrees between the two hands of the clock when the time it shows 2 hours 35 minutes? Again, the same formula, theta 11 by 2 m minus 30 h. I can see that here theta 11 by 2, instead of m, you can put 35 minus 30 h. Instead of h, you can put 2 because it's 2 hours 35 minutes. Okay, so 11 by 2 into 35 minus 30 into 2. And on calculation, we can see that this value will be coming as 11 by 2 into 35 when you do. This value will be coming here as 192.5 minus 30 into 2, that is coming as 60. You are taking the absolute value here, 192.5 minus 60, and that is coming as 132.5 degrees. Going by the options, I can see that option C, it reads 132.5. Option C is going to be my final answer. All right. Now let us consider the next question. At what time between 6 o'clock and 7 o'clock are the hands of a clock together? Hands of a clock together means what? They coincide with each other. I can see that theta, it is equal to 0 degrees in that case. So we know that theta is 11 by 2 m minus 30 h. When will that give you 0? When 11 by 2 m, it is equal to 30 h. In that scenario, we can see that the difference between them, it will be equal to 0. 0 means the two hands, they are coinciding with each other. So 11 by 2 m, it is equal to 30 h will be the condition that you have to check. Now, please observe here the time that you are considering, it is between 6 o'clock and 7 o'clock. So in this case, one thing you have to be careful. You must put the value for h as 6 in this case. Okay, why? Because the scenario under consideration, it is between 6 o'clock and 7 o'clock. So it will be something like 6 hours 20 minutes or 6 hours 50 minutes, something like that. It's going to be 6 hours and some number of minutes. So h, it should be equal to 6. Now consider the formula will be 11 by 2 m minus, 11 by 2 m, it is equal to 30 into, instead of h, you can put the value as 6. So from this, I can see m, that will be 30 into 6 divided by 11 into 2. I'm just taking that 11 by 2 to the right hand side. Okay, so it will be 30 into 6 into 2 divided by 11. It will come. And on calculation, you can see that this m value, it will be coming as 32 and 8 by 11. You can finish the calculation here. It will come like 32 and 8 by 11. That is what you will be getting the value for m as. Okay, so the final answer when we are considering, it will be like 6 hours and 32 and 8 by 11 minutes it will be. Okay, so going by the options, option A, it reads 6 hours, 32 and 8 by 11 minutes. So for this question, option A is going to be my final answer. All right. Now let us consider the next question. At what time between 3 o'clock and 4 o'clock are the hands of the clock in opposite direction? Opposite direction means what? theta, it is equal to 180 degrees. Okay, so let us consider the basic equation here. Theta value, it is equal to 180 degrees. The time under consideration, it is between 3 o'clock and 4 o'clock. So please note the h you have to consider here, it will be equal to 3. Okay, because it's happening between 3 o'clock and 4 o'clock. So it may be something like 3:40 or 3:45, something like that. So h should be equal to 3 in this case. So we can go by the formula here, 180, it is equal to 11 by 2m minus 30 into 3. This is how the calculation has to be made. So we can consider opening that modulus. 180, it is equal to 11 by 2 times m minus 30 into 3, which is coming as 90. Now, doing the simplification here, I can see that this implies 11 by 2m, that is equal to 180 plus 90, which comes as 270. That gets me m, which is equal to 270 into 2 divided by 11. On calculation, I can see that this value, 270 into 2 is 540. 540 by 11, when I am considering, this value will be coming here as 49, and 1 by 11 it will come. Got my point? So we can see that the time under consideration, it should be like 3 hours and 49 and 1 by 11 minutes. It comes like this. Going by the options, option D, it reads 3 hours, 49 and 1 by 11 minutes. So for this question, option D is going to be my final answer. All right. So make a note of the same here. Let us consider the next question. At what angle in degrees are the hands of the clock inclined at 20 minutes past 7? 20 minutes past 7 means the time under consideration, it is 7:20. The formula that we have to use here, theta is equal to 11 by 2m minus 30h. So we can consider theta, it is equal to 11 by 2 times, instead of m, you can put 20 here, minus 30h. H you can consider here as 7. So we can see here the value will be 110 minus 210, and we can see, taking the modulus symbol, it will be minus 100. Modulus of minus 100, it will come. Taking the absolute value here, it will be coming as 100 degrees. So for this question, option C, 100 degrees, this is going to be my answer. All right. So now for this question, we are considering 20 minutes past 7. Okay, suppose in the question, if it was worded like, at what angle in degrees are the hands of the clock inclined? 20 minutes, instead of past 7, let me say 20 minutes prior to 7. So you see 20, you see there, you see 7 over there. But please read it carefully. It is 20 minutes prior to 7. 20 minutes prior to 7 means what? The time under consideration, that will be 6:40. 20 minutes prior to 7 means I am considering the time to be 6:40. So there, theta value will be nothing but 11 by 2m. Instead of m, you have to put 40 minus 30h. 30 into 6, it will come. So this, when I am calculating, I can say this will be 11 into 20 minus 30 into 6. This is 180. So you can see now it is 11 into 20. That will be coming as 220 minus 180. And this, you can see that it will be coming as 40 degrees in this case. Okay. So please note the word that is used here. Please be careful. Have they used, is it 20 minutes past 7 or is it 20 minutes prior to 7? Both words may come, or both one of these words may come. So you have to read the question carefully before you have to read this question also carefully before you are attempting the question as such. Okay, so here, if the word prior to it is used, please make a note of the time that is to be considered. Okay, so but in the given question, it was 20 minutes past 7, so 7:20. So doing the calculation, the final answer, it will come as option C. Okay, so let's now go to the next question. It's given the angle between the two hands of a clock. It is 70 degrees. When the hour hand, it is between 7 o'clock and 8 o'clock. The question is, what time does the watch it show? So before we are attempting this question, please be aware the formula that we have to use, that is theta, it is equal to 11 by 2m minus 30h. There is no confusion here. And since we are considering the time, it is between 7 o'clock and 8 o'clock. Please note, h, it should be equal to 7. Because it may be happening something like 7 hours 20 minutes maybe, or 7 hours 40 minutes, I don't know. So h, you should substitute the value as 7. So now the objective, it is to find when the angle of inclination between the two hands of the clock, it is equal to 70 degrees. When it is going to happen. Here again, another small concept you have to be aware of. Mod of A minus B in general, if I am considering, if I am going to remove that modulus, then two possibilities you have to be aware of. It may be A minus B. It may be B minus A. There are two possibilities. Mod of A minus B, when you remove the modulus operation, two possibilities can come, A minus B, or it will be B minus A. Both you have to be aware of. Okay, so now let's do the calculation. Here, the angle of inclination 70 degrees. So one possibility that I can think of, 70, it is equal to 11 by 2m minus 30 times 7. This is case 1. So from this, I can see that 11 by 2m, that is equal to 70 plus 30 into 7. That is coming as 210. So I will be getting this is equal to 70 plus 210. I know that that value is coming as 280. So I can get the value for m as 280 into 2 upon 11. This is one possible answer. Okay, so please be aware of this possibility when I am calculating it. I can see that 280 into 2 by 11, this will be coming as 50 and 10 by 11 minutes. So one time that I can consider, it will be 7 hours, 50 and 10 by 11 minutes. Got it? But let's not conclude that option A is our answer. We have to consider the other possibility as well. So for that, I'm going to consider 70, it is equal to 30 into 7 minus 11 by 2m. Like I consider mod of A minus B, when you remove the mod, A minus B, or it could be B minus A. So I am considering 30h minus 11 by 2m. So 30 into 7 minus 11 by 2m. So from this, I can see that 11 by 2m, that will be coming as 30 into 7, that is 210, minus 70 it will come. And that is nothing but 140. So from this, I can see that m, it will be 140 into 2 divided by 11, it will come. On calculation, I can say this is 280 by 11. 280 by 11, when I am considering, it will be 25 and 5 by 11 minutes. Got it? So this is also a possibility. So the time may be 7 hours, 50 and 10 by 11 minutes, or 7 hours, 25 and 5 by 11 minutes. Two possibilities are there. So looking at the options, I can see A works, B also works. So I should select option D as my answer, both A and B. D will be my final answer. So if I'm just considering how it looks like, see, if I'm considering this is 12, this is 3, this is 6, this is 9, 750. Okay, I can consider that it will be looking somewhat like this, close to 8 o'clock. Okay, 750. We can see this angle of inclination. It corresponds to 70 degrees. Similarly, 725, if I am considering, this is the dial, 6, 9, this is 12, and also this is 3. And I can consider that here 725, right? Approximately, it will be looking like this. This is that 725 I'm talking about. So at 725 and 5 by 11, it would have made that 70 degrees. Somewhere close to 735, the two hands, they would have overlapped with each other. And then you can see that the minute hand, it overtakes the hour hand. And again at 7:50 and 10 by 11 minutes, they are again making that 70 degrees with each other. That's why two possibilities are coming in. Okay, so we can say option D. Safely we can mark that as our choice. Now, let us consider the next question. At what time does the clock show when the hour hand it is between 3 and 4 and the angle between the two hands of the clocks, it's 50 degrees. Same as what we saw just a few moments back, 50 angle, it is equal to 11 by 2 m minus 30 h. Please note the time it is considered between 3 o'clock and 4 o'clock. So it's between 3 and 4, right? So you should put the value for that h as 3. So 11 by 2 m minus 30 into 3, because it's something like 3 hours 20 minutes or 3 hours 40 minutes. Like that it will come. So h, you should put it as 3. So 50, it is equal to 11 by 2 m minus 30 into 3. Okay, so this is one possibility. So we can consider that 11 by 2 m, that is equal to 50 plus 30 into 3, that is equal to 90. So that is coming as 11 by 2 m. It is equal to 90 plus 50, it is equal to 140. M, it will be coming as 280 divided by 11. And we have calculated this value 280 by 11, the previous question, 25 and 5 by 11 minutes it will come. Okay, so this is one possible answer. But please note, when I am removing that modulus symbol, mod a minus b, that is mod of a minus b, when you remove the mod, a minus b or b minus a, both could be there. So I am now considering the next possibility, 50. It is equal to 30 into 3 minus 11 by 2 m. Okay. Now I can consider 11 by 2 m. That is coming as 30 into 3, that is 90, minus 50, that is equal to 40. So from this I can see that m, that will be coming as 40 into 2, 80, 80 by 11 it will come. That is another possibility. 80 by 11 when I am considering, that will be 7 and 3 by 11 minutes. Okay. Now, we can see that the two possibilities are, it may be 3 hours, 25 and 5 by 11 minutes, or it may be 3 hours, 7 and 3 by 11 minutes. So we can see that in this case, that 7 and 3 by 11 possibility, it is not mentioned here. Only the 25 and 5 by 11 is present. So we can choose option B as our final answer. Okay, please note any value theta, likely that it can happen 2 times, but not necessarily if that is the case. That option D, what you see there, both A and B, like that you should not conclude. Okay, it can happen that way also, like we saw earlier. But here, since that 7 and 3 by 11, the precise value is not listed here. Please analyze the options carefully and then pick the correct option. We can see that here option B, 3 hours, 25 and 5 by 11 minutes. That is the best answer that you can mark. Option B is our final answer. Let us consider the next question. At what time between 5 o'clock and 6 o'clock, the hands of the clock, they make 62 degrees with each other. Same as we saw, 62, it is equal to 11 by 2m minus 30 into the time it is between 5 o'clock and 6 o'clock, right? So what should be the value that you should put for h in this case? That will be coming as 5. We should put the value as 5. It's happening something like 5 hours 20 minutes or 5 hours 35 minutes. We don't know. M we have to calculate. So 62 is equal to 11 by 2m minus 30 into 5. Because it is happening between 5 o'clock and 6 o'clock. Done? So we can see now 11 by 2m, that is nothing but 62 plus 30 into 5, that is coming here as 150. And that is going to get you the value m. You can see that it is equal to 62 plus 150 into 2 by 11, which is as good as 424 divided by 11, it will come. On calculation, you can see m, it will be equal to 38 and 6 by 11 minutes. Okay, so for this particular question, for one part, I can say 38 and 6 by 11, it comes as our answer. But please note, one more possibility may be there. So we have to check that also. So we can consider 62, it is equal to 30 into 5 minus 11 by 2m mod of a minus b. When you remove the mod, a minus b, b minus a. So the other aspect I'm considering. So from this, I can see that 11 by 2m, that is equal to 30 into 5, which is 150 minus 62. That gets me 11 by 2m. It is equal to 150 minus 62. And I can say that value will be 88. Okay, 150 minus 62, 88. So m, it will be equal to 88 into 2 divided by 11, it will come. And you can say this is coming as exactly 60. So the time, it may be 5 hours, 38 and 6 by 11 minutes, or it is 5 hours, 16 minutes. So both 16 is available here. This 38 and 6 by 11 is also available here. B, C, both are correct here. So we can mark option D, both B and C. That is our final answer in this case. Okay. Now, let's consider the next question here. A watch which gains uniformly. It was observed to be 4 minutes slow at 6 a.m. on Monday. On the subsequent Thursday, so Monday to Tuesday, Tuesday to Wednesday, Wednesday to Thursday, 3 days over. On the subsequent Thursday at 7 p.m. So it is given that the watch appears to be 6 minutes fast. When did the watch it show the correct time? That is the question. See, when you are getting these types of questions, what you have to do is just see and write the time frame correctly. See, the entire thing, it starts at 6 a.m. on a Monday, right? That's the time when the entire story starts. You are considering the story, it concludes at 7 p.m. Thursday. Okay. So let us find out what is the total time gap from the 6 a.m. Monday to 7 p.m. Thursday. Okay. So we can see that it's 6 a.m. Monday to 6 a.m. Tuesday, it is 24 hours. 6 a.m. Tuesday to 6 a.m. Wednesday, another 24 hours. 6 a.m. Wednesday to 6 a.m. Thursday, it is another 24 hours. This is Monday to Tuesday, Tuesday to Wednesday, and Wednesday to Thursday, right? 3 days we are considering. Now you have reached 6 a.m. Thursday. From 6 a.m. Thursday to 6 p.m. Thursday, it is another 12 hours. Now to 7 p.m. Thursday, one more hour to go. So altogether, we can say the total time duration is 24 plus 24 plus 24. That is equal to 72, 82, 83, 84, 85. Altogether, I can see that this corresponds to 85 hours. Okay, so that's what I'm going to show here. From 6 a.m. Monday to 7 p.m. Thursday that you are considering, it's 3 days and 13 hours. You can say I have indicated it here. 3 days and 12 plus 1, altogether 13 hours. Altogether, we can say it corresponds to 85 hours. Now, let's see what is happening in this 85 hours. The clock, it was originally 4 minutes slow. It is running 4 minutes behind the schedule. And you can see by 7 p.m. Thursday, what is happening? It is 6 minutes fast. When I say 6 minutes fast, it's 6 minutes. We can see that it is above the scheduled time or more than the scheduled time, which means the clock got altogether -4 to +6. I can see that the clock, it has altogether gained 10 minutes. Please observe, if I'm considering it in the number line format, when it started, it was at -4. When the drama ended, it was +6. So from -4 to +6, you are considering altogether the clock, it has gained 10 minutes. Now, please note, we can see that in order to gain 10 minutes, this clock, it has taken altogether 85 hours. Don't you agree with me? From -4 to +6, in order to gain that 10 minutes, the clock has altogether taken 85 hours, which means for gaining 1 minute, the clock has taken 8.5 hours. Dividing the left-hand side and the right-hand side with 10, for gaining 1 minute, 85 by 10, the clock would have taken 8.5 hours. And you can see that this clock, this watch, it would have shown the correct time, when it has just gained 4 minutes, because it was originally 4 minutes slow, right? So the moment it has just gained 4 minutes, it would have shown the correct time. So in order to gain 4 minutes, you can see the clock, it would have taken 8.5 into 4. 8 fours are 32, 32 plus 2, that is equal to 34. Altogether, it would have taken 34 hours. You got my point? So in order to gain that 4 minutes from -4 to 0, it would have altogether taken 8.5 into 4. That is corresponding to 34 hours. So starting from 6 a.m. Monday, exactly 34 hours later, this clock, this watch, it would have shown the correct time. So we can consider 6 a.m. Monday to 6 a.m. Tuesday. It corresponds to 24 hours. Now, I have to consider another 10 more hours. So 10 more hours means what? If I'm considering 6 PM Tuesday, you can consider 12 hours it would have got, right? But it's not 12 hours, only 10 hours. So I can consider that from 6 a.m. Tuesday to 4 p.m. Tuesday. You can see that 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 noon, 1, 2, 3, 4. You can see that it corresponds to another 10 more hours. So we can see that in this scenario, from 6 a.m. Monday up to 4 p.m. Tuesday, when I am considering 24 plus 10, 34 hours altogether it will take. In that 34 hours, the clock, it would have gained 4 minutes span of time. So the clock, it would have shown the correct time at 4 p.m. Tuesday. Going by the options, you can see that option B, it reads 4 p.m. Tuesday. So for this question, my answer, it is going to be option B. It's a very interesting question. This will be the best method that you can use for answering these types of questions. Okay, let's consider the next one. You can consider that here, the minute hand of a clock, it overtakes the hour hand at intervals of 66 minutes of the correct time. How much time the clock, it loses or gain in a day? That is the question. So it's a very interesting question. In the concept, I have explained that the time gap between two successive coincidences, it is 65 and 5 by 11 minutes, right? In every 65 and 5 by 11 minutes, you can see that the hands of the clock, they coincide with each other. So the expectation, I can say the coincidence, it should happen in every 65 and 5 by 11 minutes. But in reality, you know what is happening? The coincidence, it is happening at a gap of 66 minutes of the correct time. You can see that the clock, it is taking more time here. If somebody is taking more time, what does that mean? The person is losing the time, right? So we can see that the clock, it's taking more time to show successive coincidences. We can see that the clock as such, it is losing time. I have mentioned it. For completing a program, okay, academic program, 4 years is the normal time. If somebody is taking 5 years to complete the program or 6 years to complete the program, we can see that he has lost some years in between. That's why he's taking more time or she's taking more time to complete the program. So going by this logic, 66 is as such, it is more than 65 and 5 by 11. So we can see that the clock as such is losing time. It's not gaining time, it's losing time. So we can see that the time lost, read it carefully, the time lost in 66 minutes. When the clock or the watch, it runs for 66 minutes, the time lost, that is equal to 66 minus 65 and 5 by 11. The time lost in 66 minutes, it is 66 minus 65 and 5 by 11. You can say that is corresponding to 6 by 11 minutes. So please be aware the time lost in 66 minutes, it is 6 by 11 minutes. Therefore, I will say the time lost in 1 minute, that will be nothing but 6 by 11 into 1 by 66, that much minutes. This is the time lost in 1 minute. So therefore, the time lost in 1 hour, proportionately, you can say that will be 6 by 11 into 1 by 66. That is the time lost in 1 minute into 60. When I do, I can say I will get the time lost in 1 hour. Got it? Finally, the question is how much time in a day the clock lost. I can say that the time lost in 1 day, that will be nothing but the 6 by 11 into 1 by 66 into 60. This is the time lost in 1 hour into 24 I have to do because 1 day consists of 24 hours. Got it? So it all starts here. The time lost in 66 minutes, it is 6 by 11 minutes. So the time lost in 1 minute, it is 6 by 11 into 1 by 66. The time lost in 1 hour, that is the time lost in 1 minute into 60. The time lost in 1 day, it is time lost in 1 hour into 24. So it will be coming as 6 by 11 into 1 by 66 into 60 into 24. When I am calculating it, I can see that my final answer, it will be coming as 11 and 109 divided by 121. This is what I will be getting as the answer when I am simplifying that 6 by 11 into 1 by 66 into 60 into 24. And I can see that here option C, it exactly reads what I got here, 11, 109 divided by 121. So for this question, option C is going to be my final answer. So make a note of these steps. Okay, let us now consider the next question here. The minute hand of a clock, it overtakes the hour hand at intervals of 62 minutes of the correct time. How much in a day does the clock it gain or lose? Here we can see that what is expected to happen in every 65 and 5 by 11 minutes, it's happening in 62 minutes. It's happening at a lesser span of time. It means that the clock has gained time in this case. It's not losing time, it's gaining time. Like I said, for completing the BTech program, it is 4 years. I'm just saying if somebody could complete the BTech program in 3 years, we can say that he has gained 1 year. So same logic, we can see that the time gained in 62 minutes. Please note here the reference will be 62 minutes. The time gained in 62 minutes, that is equal to 65 and 5 by 11 minus 62. And that is as good as 3 and 5 by 11 minutes. So the time gained in 62 minutes, it's 3 and 5 by 11 minutes. So I would say in 62 minutes, the time gained, that corresponds to 11 into 3, 33, 33 plus 5. It is 38 upon 11 minutes. Got my point? In 62 minutes, the time gained, it is 38 by 11 minutes. So I can see that the time gained in 1 minute, it will be 38 by 11 into 1 by 62. That's the time gained in 1 minute. So the time gained in 1 hour, when I consider, that will be 38 by 11 into 1 by 62 into 60. This will be the time gained in 1 hour because 1 hour is 60 minutes. Okay, in the question it is asked how much in a day does the clock gain? So I can see that therefore in 1 day, the time gained, it will be 38 divided by 11 into 1 by 62 into 60. This is the time gained in 1 hour. 1 day consists of 24 hours. So multiply this with 24. So it will be coming as 38 by 11 into 1 by 62 into 60 into 24. On calculation, I can say my answer, it will be coming as 80 and 80 upon 341 it will come. Going by the options, I can see that here option A, it precisely reads what I got, 80 and 80 upon 341. You will get the same value when you are just going to simplify this. So we can say for this question, the answer, it is going to be option A. All right. Now let us consider the next question. A watch, it gains uniformly. It was observed to be 5 minutes slow at 12 noon on Monday. It was noticed that it was 10 minutes fast at 6 p.m. the next day when this clock, it showed the correct time. So we've done similar questions already. So as I mentioned, it all starts at 12 noon Monday and it concludes at 6 p.m. next day, that is Tuesday. So we can consider that 12 noon Monday to 12 noon Tuesday, that corresponds to 24 hours. From 12 noon Tuesday to 6 p.m. Tuesday, another 6 more hours. So altogether, we are considering 30 hours. We can consider one day 6 hours. That's the total span of time. We can say that corresponds to 30 hours. What is happening in this 30 hours? We can see that the watch, it was 5 minutes slow. Now it's 10 minutes fast. So we can consider that originally it was at -5. Now it has become +10. So we can see that in 30 hours, the clock has gained 15 minutes. I can say in order to gain 15 minutes from -5 to +10, for 15 minutes, we can see that the clock, it has took 30 hours. Got it? So in the question, it is asked, when did the watch, it show the correct time? You can see that the watch, it would have shown the correct time when it has just gained 5 minutes. From -5 to 0, when it has just gained 5 minutes, the clock, it would have shown the correct time. So if I'm going to divide the left-hand side and the right-hand side here with 3, I can see that in order to gain 5 minutes, this clock, it would have taken 10 hours, right? So my answer, it is going to be 10 hours from 12 noon Monday. Okay, so we can see that from 12 noon Monday, 10 hours if I am calculating, I can see that exactly at 10 p.m. Monday, this clock, it would have shown the correct time. The question is when the watch, it should have shown the correct time. I can say on Monday, 10 p.m., the same day, you can see that the clock, it would have shown the correct time. 10 p.m. Monday will be my answer here. Okay, let's practice another question here. A watch, it showed 5 minutes past 3 o'clock on Sunday evening when the correct time was 3 o'clock. It loses uniformly and it was observed to be 10 minutes slow on the subsequent Tuesday at 9 p.m. When did the watch, it show the correct time? So something similar in line. We can see that it all starts at 3 p.m. Sunday. And you can see that it concludes at 9 p.m. Tuesday, the entire drama when we are considering. So we can see that the total time duration, it corresponds to 2 days and 6 hours. If I'm explaining it, 3 p.m. Monday, when you are considering, it is 24 hours. 3 p.m. Tuesday, when you are considering, you can see that it is another 24 hours. From 3 p.m. Tuesday, you have to go to 9 p.m. Tuesday. that is another 6 hours under consideration. So all throughout, it is 2 days and 6 hours. 24 plus 24, 48. 48 plus 6, I can say 54 hours under consideration. Got my point? So we are dealing with from 3 p.m. Sunday to 9 p.m. Tuesday, 54 hours under consideration. Got it. Now please note what is happening in this 54 hours. The clock, which was originally 5 minutes fast, it has now become 10 minutes slow. I can see that this particular clock, it has altogether lost 15 minutes in a span of 54 hours. Do you agree with me? From plus 5 to minus 10, the gap, it is 15 minutes. So 15 minutes lost in altogether 54 hours. Got it? So I can see that here the clock, it would have shown the correct time when it has just lost 5 minutes. So I am dividing the left hand side and the right hand side here with 3. I can see that the clock, it would have lost 5 minutes. 15 by 3, it is 5. That corresponds to 54 by 3. I can say it would have lost 5 minutes in 18 hours. Got my point? So from 3 p.m. Sunday, you have to consider 18 hours forward. So we can see that from 3 p.m. Sunday to, we can consider 3 a.m. Monday, it corresponds to 12 hours. Please observe, from 3 p.m. Sunday to 3 a.m. Monday, if you are considering, it corresponds to 12 hours. Now from 3 a.m. Monday, another 6 more hours you have to travel. So 9 a.m. Monday, if you are considering, another 6 more hours would have happened. Altogether 18 hours it would have happened. So you can see that the clock, it would have shown the correct time on 9 a.m. Monday. And for this question, option D, it will be the correct answer. At 9 a.m. Monday, this clock, it would have shown the correct time. Okay. Now, these types of questions are very important. Please make sure that you are practicing them well. Now, look at this question. A clock, it is set to show the correct time at 8 a.m. The clock, it gains 10 minutes in a day. What will be the approximate time when this clock, this watch, it indicates 4 p.m. the next day? Okay. So we are considering the clock as the reference here. So let us consider 8 a.m. today. That's the starting. And we are considering 4 p.m. the next day. Okay. That's what the clock, it actually considers. So 8 a.m. to 8 a.m. the next day, it is 24 hours. From 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, another 8 more hours. So we can see that here, as per considering the clock as the reference, you can see that 24 plus 8, 32 hours has happened in the clock. Got my point? Because the clock is set to show the correct time at 8 a.m. The clock is indicating 4 p.m. the next day. So with the reference to the clock, I can see that 32 hours it has happened. But please note, the clock, it gains 10 minutes in a day. So 32 hours over, as far as the clock is concerned, means in reality 32 hours would not have got over. Got my point? So the answer, you can see that it has to be less than 4 p.m. the next day. That's why all options you see, You can see that it is 3 hours, 3 hours, like that it is seen, because the clock is getting accelerated as the time progresses. So when the clock has run 32 hours, it does not mean that actual 32 hours has got over. It will be less than 32 hours, it would have got over. So in the question, it is given that in 24 hours, observe carefully, in 24 hours, this clock, it would have gained 10 minutes. The clock, it gains 10 minutes in a day. That is what it is given here. Okay, so in 24 hours, the clock, you can see that it gains 10 minutes. So we can consider that 24 hours and 10 minutes for this clock, it is equivalent to 24 hours in reality. Do you agree with me? Because one day, 24 hours, then the clock, it would have gained 10 extra minutes. So we can see that 24 hours plus 10 minutes as far as the clock it is concerned. This is with reference to the clock I am saying. Okay, this is with reference to the clock. 24 hours plus 10 minutes. This is the actual time, that is 24 hours. I hope this part it is clear to you. So 24 and 10 minutes, when we are considering, it is 10 by 60. That much hours for this clock, it is in reality equivalent to 24 hours of the actual time. So you can see that here 24 and 10 by 60, it corresponds to, I am considering 24 into 60. Okay, I'm considering 24 into 60, 1440 plus 10. I can consider that here. I can deal with it in terms of hours. Okay, this much hours in the clock, it is equivalent to 24 hours in reality. Therefore, we are considering 32 hours with reference to this clock. 32 hours with reference to this clock. In reality, how much it is? I can say it will be coming like 24 upon 24 and 10 upon 60. That is for 1 hour into 32 I have to do. You got my point? So this is what, when on calculation, is going to get me in reality 32 hours in the clock. In reality, it is 24 by 24 and 10 by 60 into 32. And I can see that this, in fact, refers to 31 hours and 47 minutes. On calculation, I can say this refers to 31 hours, and we can consider this corresponds to 47 minutes. On calculation, I can see that this refers to 3 hours and 47 minutes as the correct value. Option B is going to be my final answer as far as this question it is concerned. Okay, so make a note of this: 24 by 24 and 10 by 60. When you are considering, this will be a value which will be slightly, greater than, sorry, slightly less than 1 into 32. When you are considering, you will get it as 31 hours and 47 minutes. 31 hours and 47 minutes from 8 a.m. today, when you are considering, I can say this will be equivalent to 3 p.m. Okay, I'm considering 8 a.m. No, so 3 and 47, 3:47 p.m. That would have been the actual time. Okay, the approximate time, the actual time, when I say the approximate time, that's what this calculation gives you. So option B will be my final answer. Okay. Now let's consider the next question. There are two clocks on a wall. They are both set to show the correct time at 8 a.m. One clock, it loses 2 minutes in 1 hour, while the other, it gains 1 minute in 1 hour. So you can see that one guy is going 2 steps backwards, but on the other side, the other guy, you can see that he is gaining 1 step forward. So I can see that in 1 hour span of time, they differ by 3 minutes. One will be going 2 step back, one is going 1 step forward. So -2 plus 1, we can see that they will be separated by 3 minutes when 1 hour is over. You can see that the clock, it is set to show the correct time at 8 a.m. So from 8 a.m. to 12 noon, you are considering, you can see that 9, 10, 11, 12. Altogether, we are dealing with 4 hours. All right. So in this 4 hours, the question is, how many minutes do the two clocks they differ by 4 hour span of time? So you can see that 1 hour they differ by 3 minutes. Therefore, if you are considering 4 hours, you can see they will differ by 3 into 4. That corresponds to 12 minutes. So we can see that here, option D, 12 minutes. This is going to be my final answer. Okay, 12 minutes is going to be my answer here. Is this clear to all of you? Okay, let's go to the next question. There are 2 clocks on a wall, both set to show the correct time at 12 noon. Both the clocks, they gain 1 minute and 2 minutes respectively in 1 hour. If the clock which gains 1 minute in 1 hour, it shows the time as 8 minutes past 8 p.m. the same day, then what time does the other watch it show? So you can see that in 1 hour, you can see that one watch, it is gaining 1 minute, right? It's gaining means it's going ahead of the schedule 1 minute. Therefore, I can see that 8 hours over means in reality, this clock, it will be showing 8 hours and 8 minutes. Got the point? So this is what it is happening as far as this question it is concerned. The clock which gains 1 minute in 1 hour, it is showing 8 minutes past 8 p.m. When I say in reality, 8 hours has got over. Got it? So in 8 hours, altogether we can see this clock, it would have ran for 8 hours. Every hour, 1 minute it has gained. So it will be showing 8 hours, 8 minutes. Got it? So in reality, 8 hours has got over. Now we have got another clock here. This clock is gaining 2 minutes respectively in 1 hour. Therefore, I can see that when this clock, it has ran for 8 hours, altogether it would have gained 16 minutes. So I can say it will be showing 8 hours and 16 minutes. Got it? So we can say as far as this particular clock is concerned, the time it shows, it corresponds to 8 hours and 16 minutes, because when one is showing 8 hours, 8 minutes, in reality, 8 hours has got over. So in that 8 hours, you can see that the other clock, it would have covered 8 hours, 16 minutes, because every hour it's gaining 2 minutes. Like that 8 hours means it will gain 16 minutes. Okay. So we can see that the final answer for this question, it will be option C, 8 hours, 16 minutes. All right. So with this question, we will conclude this lecture here. I believe that these explanations that I have shared with you, it's clear to you all in every respect. So Any doubts or any queries you have, feel free to share the same, and I will be more than happy to assist you in learning these topics in the best way, in the perfect way. Let's conclude this session here. Thank you very much for watching.